All right, so today we're going to talk about why we live in Morocco as a family, because it is Mother's Day in Slovenia. Thank you. And we have the most wonderful mother in the world, besides my mom, of course, is Andrea right here, bringing me a coffee. And I just want to talk about some reasons why we enjoy spending so much time as a family here in Tamarot, Morocco. See a lot of other families with strollers and kids around here, so I guess we're not the only ones that see the value of the place. Of course, I'd say number one is the sunny weather that we have. It may not be right now, you can probably hear the rain, but people come here in the winters and really enjoy the mild temperatures. It's not too hot, not too cold, and of course plenty of sunshine to do things outside. One negative is people aren't really prepared for the rain, so you look up things to do in Agadir in the rain. There's the kids park, Souk El Had, but not a lot of other options besides that, so I guess it's for staying home and cooking. The second thing I really enjoy about having a child here, especially one that is 2 years old, is the rich diversity in language. You walk down the streets and you hear different things all the time. You know, Moroccans will be speaking a mixture of French, Darija, and Teshlahit down here in the Agadir area, and the tourists are speaking French and German and Russian. Not so many Slovenians out here. There'll be some English. So you get a real mix of language when Rumi goes to the park or the beach. I know she's being exposed to these different languages. It creates a little barrier for her to engage sometimes, but I think it's all part of the learning process, that she's watching, she's observing, she's listening, and I think that is a beautiful thing. Another thing I really enjoy is I don't want to say connection to reality, but things are not as sugar-coated here as they could be in America. For example, you go to the shop in America, you're not going to see any chickens there. You go to the shop here, there'll be some chickens, and you might hear what happens to those chickens. I think the sooner you figure that out, the more real life is, you know. It kind of gives you a sense for what is actually going on. Other thing is just walking through the village, and there's always a bunch of surprises here. You know, it's a communal place, you feel safe always. And for example, we heard a turkey walking down the street the other day, so we went looking around for a turkey. I put her on my shoulders to look over a fence for this turkey, and a nice man said, "Hey, come." He opened the door, we got to see the turkey and the chicken, and that really made Rumi's day, and she cannot wait to go back and see that turkey again. Another thing I really love about living in Morocco with a child is the food is excellent. Tagine, couscous is one of Rumi's favorite. Tagine is always boiled and there's veggies in there, so it's a balanced dish that you know is cooked if you're eating out, so there's no worries about getting sick or anything like that. So love the Moroccan food for that. One thing that was definitely hard and adjustment for us when we first came here was the difference in attitudes toward children and like interacting with strangers' kids. I remember when I was in America, and this was like during Corona time, we're at Aldi, and this lady just like kind of touched Rumi's foot, and it totally freaked me out. Rumi was probably 6 to 9 months at the time, and I was like, why did she do that? She's contaminated or infected. And then you get to Morocco, and everyone's trying to kiss or pick up or play with Rumi. And at first, when she was like 1 year old, she kind of went along with it. But now, at 2 years old, she clearly understands the idea of stranger danger. This is what we have in America, is stranger danger. But in Morocco, you don't have this. I don't think you have this phrase of, okay, people we don't know are strangers and they're dangerous. I don't think this is necessarily a good attitude to have. But yeah, it will protect the child in some cases. In the end, she's learned this on her own. When some guy comes up now, she avoids, and she does it all on her own. So her, I don't want to say the innocence has been lost in this sense, but she knows how to really keep her distance now, and she knows people can surprise you sometimes. So I think I'm grateful for the lessons she has learned in terms of dealing with stranger dangers. So we touched on language, we talked on the food, we talked on the weather, and we talked on the stranger dangers. Another beautiful thing that, I'm not a Muslim. People ask me, am I fasting? I'm not a Muslim, but I feel totally at home in this country in which Islam dominates the landscape. You hear the call to prayer, you see it reflected in people's relations with each other, of course the holidays, everything like that. But one thing I want to say is when I'm in the car, sometimes you don't always get the hit music radio stations, but I just let the Quran play. The Quran's often on the radio in Morocco. I don't know if it's just on times to pray or just all the time. You'd hear it in taxis, but now I just let it play in the car, and I think that's a beautiful thing for Rumi, that she hears this energy and intention, and I believe it just kind of creates a peace and calm in the car. I don't know if that's true, but when it's on, I never hear her complaining too much or asking to change it. So I just let the Quran play in the car, and I think that helps to, calm her down. It's very beautiful sometimes to hear. Other times it may make you a little sleepy, depends on your mood, but that's another thing that I really enjoy is the sense, I would way rather have that than some brainwashing, programming, pop music. So I said the hit radio stations, but they play more reggae and traditional Moroccan music. Another thing, the sounds, right? The music, people coming around with a little, I don't want to call it fiddle, I don't know the exact name of the instrument, but people come in with the castanetas too. And it's just such a rich place, I believe, for a 2-year-old to develop. And that's why we're here, is to find the best for Rumi. People ask, what are you going to do with school? My intention is to homeschool eventually, but right now she's 2 years old. And I read this 0 to 6 year old phase is really the time of when they're a sponge. So I think you put a sponge into Morocco that they will learn a lot about first language to culture, just for Moroccans and people traveling here. And I think it's the best place for a sponge, especially on such a rainy day like today. Hopefully we could find some entertainment for her. So I'm trying something different. I'm going back to the roots. You may have watched the Why I Left America to Live in Morocco video that was created almost 5 years ago, and that was popular. So I want to continue to speak on these topics about questions I get. So thank you for watching, and hello from this rainy day from Agadir. I'll take you outside just so you can see what is really going on here. You can see clouds, no chance of any sunshine yet, but that's it, and signing off.